Hey, so today we're going to be checking out another PDF software. This one was sent over to me by Afirstsoft, very interesting company name, but we're going to be checking out their PDF software. They sent me a license to use and go ahead and use for this review. I'm going to go ahead, go through all of the features and see if we like it by the end of the day. And by the time we get to the end, I'll tell you whether or not I recommend it. So before we begin, what is Afirstsoft PDF? And it is an AI-powered PDF software that allows you to view, edit, annotate, edit, convert, use OCR, organize, summarize PDFs, and it can be used across multiple platforms: Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. One license works across all of these devices. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all of these different pieces of the software. We're going to see how they perform. I'm going to give my opinions as we go through this. And again, I'm going through with a paid license, so do keep that in mind. And without further ado, let's just hop right into the software. So first things first, we're just going to go ahead and view a PDF. So I have a PDF that I've brought in here. You can just drag and drop them. So I'm going to have this one open. And as we can see, you know, pretty typical for a PDF viewer. The UI is pretty nice. You can zoom multiple ways. You can either hold control and scroll in and out with your mouse wheel, or you can go to the view up here and you can change the zoom. So you can do actual heights, you can do fit window, all of that kind of stuff. You can also utilize a lot of this empty space here by doing the 2-page scrolling. So you can kind of use a lot more of that empty space and have side by side. And there's a few other methods here as well. So you can do single page scrolling, or you can do single page where it goes from one page to the next one. It doesn't really have too much of a crossover there. And then you can just have 2-page, which does a very similar kind of process. Now, this PDF editor also has a bunch of annotation methods that you can use. So you can highlight text. So let's go ahead and grab the red here. We can go ahead and highlight all of this red. Very easy to use. You can go ahead and underline text really easily as well. Let's do green, and we can go ahead and underline this very quickly. It works really well. You can do strike through, the same kind of method. It's just going to be the default now, which is red. That's pretty awesome. You can put the tilde underneath it, and you can also add stickers. So if I want to say, hey, this is a really nice section of the PDF, we can go ahead and put that on there, make it larger, and there you go. So that's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, as long as you have permissions for a PDF, you can also go ahead and edit it. So if it's not protected by a password, like this one is not protected by a password, I can go ahead and add something on here like saying, hello, this is part of a video demo. And I can go ahead and move that up there so that it's not cut off. So as you can see, the new text I typed in here is put in Arial. It didn't grab the font that was in the rest of the text box. And unfortunately, I can't even convert what was here into the Roberto. So if I go to R, it's not even part of my options. So I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and install that font before I can go ahead and use it. It's kind of unfortunate that I can't just grab whatever font already exists and apply it to what I'm adding on here. Kind of adds just an extra step that you got to take time for. Within editing, we can also go ahead and add a new text box. So say I want to add one up here, and we can say this is a new box. And we can go ahead and then just move that around wherever we want it. Pretty simple and straightforward. We have a bunch of font options here. We have the alignment. We have some font modifiers like underlining, bold, all that kind of stuff. And then we have more aligning as well within the actual page itself. Also within editing, you can crop pages. So if I want to go ahead and just crop the first half of this page off, I can do that, although it does seem to be cropping all of the pages. So I guess you can't crop page by page, because if I press apply, it cropped all of them. If I undo that and I go back to the cropping page, I go ahead and do this. I do crop setting. Oh, we can apply this to just a particular page. So we can apply this to just the first page, and it'll only do the first page. So that's better. And then apply it. So we can also go ahead and use the software to convert PDFs. So now we can convert them to Word, to Excel, to PowerPoint, to an image, to another PDF file, or we can also export it to RTF, EPUBs, which is used by e-readers, and to text files. And the nice thing is you can also batch convert. So if you have a whole bunch of PDFs that you want to convert into PowerPoints, you can do that really quickly, which is nice. Now from this page, we can also create a PDF, or you can do it from the tools page, and you can create a PDF from a Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or image file as well. So I went ahead and brought in a table that I used for another video. And what we can do with this now is we can do OCR, which is optical character recognition. This is going to be the best case scenario because it's a digital file. It's not scanned in, so there's no artifacting or like dust or anything on here. So we'll see how well it performs with this, and we'll also do it with a scanned document as well to see how well the OCR performs. So when you do bring in something like this, it actually pops up and says, this is a scanned PDF, performed OCR to make it editable and searchable. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we have a few options. We can scan to make editable text, or we can scan it to make just searchable text in an image. So if you don't care to edit it and you just want it to be more searchable, you can do that. And we're going to do English, current page, perform OCR. Now with that finished, it went ahead and created a new version of the file. And as we see here, now I can highlight text. I can go ahead and do crossouts and stuff, and it's done a pretty good job. I can replace this and say, if I go to edit here, I can go and say, this is an edit, and it got rid of that text very well and put new text in. So this is working really, really well with a digital file. It does have a few things where it doesn't really understand everything, so it kind of grabbed a little bit extra here. Not the worst situation, not the best, but you know, it's done a pretty good job for the most part here. Let's go ahead and grab an actual scanned in document. So give me 1 second. So now we have a scanned document here that we can go ahead and perform an OCR on. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make it editable text, current page, English, and perform. As it did before, it's going to create a second version. And as we can see here, we can go ahead and edit. It has identified things relatively well, so we can have different sections. It does split up a couple of the paragraphs a little bit. That's not too big of an issue, but it seems to have done a pretty good job. If I go ahead and select all of this and get rid of it, it gets rid of it all. There's nothing really left over. There's a little bit of like a shadow, but it does a pretty good job. So I am pretty impressed with that. OCR in general has done really well in recent years. Now, the software also allows you to organize your PDFs, so you can go ahead and you can rearrange pages. You can extract particular pages and make them their own document. You can crop from here as well. So that's pretty cool. We can go ahead and rotate these pages. I mean, it does a pretty good job. Let's see if we can do multiple. So let's grab multiple. We can rotate them all at the same time. You can select them based on all of them being even, all of them being the landscape pages, all of that kind of stuff. So they have some pretty good options in here to help you move them. And there's also just a really intuitive drag and drop feature that allows you to move pages around, which is also pretty nice. Now, the final thing we're going to check is we're going to check the AI portion of the software. We're going to ask it to go ahead and summarize this PDF for us. So it is going to say that we need to upload the document to the cloud, and then it can go ahead and summarize that for us. So we're going to go ahead and press start. It's going to upload this. I'm going to agree to their terms. And with anything that is going to be uploading it to the cloud, you're going to have to be very careful as to what you're uploading. If you're doing this for work, you're going to have to make sure that your work allows this to happen. If information in that document is supposed to be kept secret and is trademarked or IP and stuff like that, you really don't want to upload without having an actual agreement with the company that you're uploading the stuff to, or a company that you trust, or that your company trusts. So before you end up using this for anything work-wise, double check the kind of documents that you're using and get permission from either your boss or your IT department or whomever should be making that decision for you before you go ahead and upload any of these documents to the cloud for use in AI stuff as well. So just keep that in mind. Now, the AI did a decent job of summarizing what this document is about. I can go ahead and ask it some questions. So I can say, what is this document talking about on page 3? And let's see if it's able. So not the greatest. It is able to summarize the whole document, which is nice. But in terms of asking it questions, it doesn't seem to be the greatest in terms of trying to figure that out. Let's see if I add a question mark or something on there, if it does a better job. So I've tried to give it a couple of different prompts to see if it would go ahead and summarize a particular page. Doesn't seem to do that. Looking at their website, the AI is still in development. It's still improving. This product has just launched within the last couple of weeks, so they are still improving it. It is unfortunate that the AI just can only summarize a whole document or multiple documents at once right now. It cannot do a lot of prompt-based summarizations, and they're still working on translation and proofreading and stuff like that as well. So it is still a pretty big work in progress. And as I've always mentioned, don't buy a product for something that a company is promising in the future. Buy it for what it is now, and then you can hope that the future is better, but don't buy something weighing that whole purchase on what the company is promising you, because sometimes those promises are not going to be a reality. And that's just a really good way to go about buying anything, especially in this very update heavy, releasing products in different states than they end up being world that we're in now. So let's quickly talk about pricing, and the pricing is kind of wishy-washy here. So $8 a month, or if you do a full year, it is $45, or if you do the 3-year plan, it's $56. So obviously they're really pushing you towards the 3-year plan. That monthly plan at that price per year ends up being almost $96 US, which is quite a bit of money. And then obviously them pricing the 3-year plan only $10 more than paying for 1 year is pretty obvious. They're pushing you towards a 3-year. And them not having a perpetual license is a little bit unfortunate here. I don't like having all of my software being subscription-based. I prefer none of my software being subscription-based, and I always prefer perpetual licenses, especially for stuff like this. So it is unfortunate that they do not have a perpetual license available. And obviously, as I mentioned, they're really pushing you towards the 3-year plan. The 3-year plan pricing itself is quite good, but the yearly and the monthly plan pricings are more expensive than most of the other options that we've looked at before. So I really wouldn't suggest them. If you do like the software and you want to buy it, the 3-year plan is going to be your best bet. And that's obviously their perspective here. They're really trying to push you towards that 3-year plan. Now, there is also a free trial version as well. You do have some limitations. You have 2 gigs of cloud storage. You can only upload 5 megabyte style files. Editing has a watermark. You can only convert 2 times a day, and there's no OCR. It seems like watermarks are pretty much across the board here, and you can see the rest of their comparisons on their website here. I will leave a link in the description below for the particular pricing page. Now, if we're going to go ahead and compare this to other options, like I mentioned, it is more expensive than other options out there. It's not as expensive as the really big ones like from Adobe, but it is still more expensive, and it's an incomplete product. It's still very fresh and new. They're still updating it. They're still trying to get it to where they want it to be. And that makes that pricing a little bit harder to swallow as well. They are also missing some features like being able to protect your PDFs, where it'll warn you if a PDF is protected. So for example, with this one, it is protected and I cannot edit it, but I also cannot seem to find an option where I can protect my own PDFs. So I would have to end up using something else to do that, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, if you do want to try Afirstsoft PDF editor for yourself, there will be links in the description and in the pinned comment where you can go ahead and try the free trial, or you can get an exclusive discount for the paid version. And those again will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, with all that said, I really do hope you found this video helpful. And if not, I at least hope you found it interesting. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can go ahead and leave those down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to get them all as quickly as I can. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you do want to see any other videos where I talk about software, you can check out the playlist right up here. And as always, stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.